In today's rapidly evolving world, the ability to solve complex problems has become the defining skill for success across all domains of life. Whether you're a business executive facing disruptive market changes, a nonprofit leader tackling systemic social issues, or simply an individual making important life decisions, the challenges we encounter are increasingly multifaceted and uncertain. The traditional approaches to problem solving often fall short when confronted with the interconnected, fast-moving issues that characterize our modern landscape. The 7-step Bulletproof Problem Solving framework represents a systematic methodology that transforms how we approach and resolve complex challenges. This approach moves beyond intuition and ad hoc thinking to provide a structured, repeatable process that can be applied to problems of any scale or complexity. At its core, the framework emphasizes the power of logical disaggregation, rigorous analysis, and compelling storytelling to drive meaningful action. The methodology addresses fundamental questions that every problem solver must master. How do we define problems precisely to meet decision-makers' needs? How do we break down complex issues into manageable components? How do we prioritize our efforts to focus on the most impactful elements? How do we synthesize our findings into compelling narratives that motivate change? The 7-step problem-solving framework. The Bulletproof problem-solving process operates as both a complete methodology and an iterative cycle that can be adapted to any time frame or information constraint. This systematic approach begins with the recognition that great problem solving is fundamentally about asking the right questions and following a disciplined process to find answers that drive action. The framework starts with precise problem definition, ensuring that every subsequent effort is aligned with the decision-maker's actual needs and constraints. This foundation prevents the common mistake of solving the wrong problem elegantly. The process then moves through logical disaggregation, where complex challenges are broken down into manageable components using visual logic trees. These trees serve as mental models that make the structure of problems transparent and reveal potential solution pathways. Effective prioritization follows, focusing analytical efforts on the elements that offer the highest impact and are within our sphere of influence. This step prevents teams from getting lost in analysis paralysis or working on peripheral issues. The framework emphasizes building robust work plans that drive from hypotheses to specific analytical outputs, ensuring that every piece of analysis serves a clear purpose in testing our understanding of the problem. The analytical phase employs both simple heuristics and sophisticated tools as needed, always starting with summary statistics and rough calculations before moving to more complex methods. The process culminates in synthesis and storytelling, transforming analytical insights into compelling narratives that motivate stakeholders to take action. Throughout, the methodology remains iterative, allowing teams to refine their understanding and approach as new information emerges. Problem definition and logical disaggregation. Effective problem definition serves as the cornerstone of successful problem solving, yet it remains one of the most commonly overlooked steps in the process. A well-defined problem statement must be outcomes-focused, specific, and measurable, clearly time-bound, and designed to address decision-maker values and constraints while allowing sufficient scope for creative solutions. The process of problem definition goes beyond crafting a simple problem statement. It requires understanding the boundaries of the problem, the time frame for solutions, the required level of accuracy, and any forces affecting the decision. This comprehensive context prevents teams from rushing into analysis with vague objectives and ensures that solutions will be relevant and actionable when discovered. Logical disaggregation transforms overwhelming complex problems into manageable analytical chunks through the systematic use of logic trees. These visual representations serve multiple critical functions. They provide clear pictures of problem components that everyone can understand, They are holistic in capturing everything relevant to the issue, and they lead to specific hypotheses that can be tested with data and analysis. The power of disaggregation lies in finding the right way to cleave problems open, much like cutting a diamond along its natural lines. Different types of logic trees serve different purposes. Component trees help in early exploration, deductive trees work from general principles to specific cases. Inductive trees build from specific observations to general conclusions, and hypothesis trees test specific propositions about cause and effect. The key insight is that different ways of breaking down the same problem often yield different solution pathways, making it valuable to try multiple approaches before settling on one framework. Analytics and team-based solution development. The analytical phase of problem solving requires a disciplined approach that balances speed with rigor, starting with simple tools and escalating to sophisticated methods only when necessary. This progressive approach prevents teams from getting lost in complex analyses before understanding the basic structure and magnitude of their problem. Effective analysis begins with heuristics, rules of thumb, and summary statistics that help teams understand the direction and scale of key relationships. Tools like order of magnitude analysis, the 80-20 rule, break-even calculations, and reasoning by analogy provide quick insights into which elements of a problem deserve deeper investigation. These simple approaches often reveal that some branches of the logic tree can be pruned entirely, saving significant time and effort. When complex analytical tools are needed, the framework provides guidance on selecting the right approach based on whether the goal is understanding causation or predicting outcomes. Statistical tools like regression analysis and Bayesian methods help uncover drivers and test interventions, while machine learning and forecasting models excel at prediction tasks. Game theory becomes essential when other players' reactions must be anticipated and incorporated into the solution. Team processes play a crucial role throughout the analytical phase, providing both creative energy and protection against cognitive biases. Effective problem-solving teams maintain relatively flat structures that encourage diverse perspectives while establishing clear processes for hypothesis testing and decision-making. Key practices include the obligation to dissent, role-playing different stakeholder perspectives, employing dialectical reasoning through thesis-antithesis-synthesis approaches, and using structured techniques like pre-mortem analysis to anticipate potential failures. These processes help teams avoid common pitfalls like confirmation bias, anchoring on initial assumptions, and groupthink, while fostering the creative insights that lead to breakthrough solutions. Uncertainty management and wicked problem strategies. Complex problems often involve significant uncertainty and long time horizons that require specialized approaches beyond the basic 7-step framework. Understanding different levels of uncertainty, from predictable futures to true ambiguity, enables problem solvers to select appropriate strategies for managing risk and building resilient solutions. The framework distinguishes 5 levels of uncertainty, each requiring different strategic responses. Level 1 problems with predictable outcomes can be addressed with standard analytical approaches, while higher levels of uncertainty demand strategies like buying information, acquiring low-cost options, purchasing insurance, making no-regrets moves that build capabilities regardless of outcomes, or placing big bets when confidence levels justify the risk. For problems with very long time horizons, the methodology incorporates techniques like scenario planning, options valuation, and staircase strategies that allow organizations to step into uncertain territories through carefully sequenced moves. These approaches emphasize learning and capability building while maintaining flexibility to adapt as uncertainty resolves over time. Even the most challenging wicked problems that seem to defy solution due to their complexity, multiple stakeholders, and systemic nature can benefit from structured problem-solving approaches. The key lies in finding new ways to disaggregate these problems that reveal intervention points, and in developing portfolio approaches that combine multiple strategies. Examples from obesity prevention and overfishing demonstrate how systematic analysis can uncover cost-effective interventions and innovative solutions even for problems that have resisted traditional policy approaches. The framework's emphasis on making externalities internal to the problem and finding novel ways to align incentives proves particularly valuable for these systemic challenges. The essence of bulletproof problem solving lies in the recognition that complex challenges yield to systematic approaches that combine rigorous thinking with creative insight and compelling communication. Through disciplined application of the 7-step framework, problem solvers develop the confidence to tackle issues of any scale, from personal decisions to global challenges, knowing they have a reliable process for finding solutions that drive meaningful change. This methodology represents more than just a problem-solving technique. It embodies a fundamental shift toward evidence-based decision-making that can transform individuals, organizations, and societies. By mastering these approaches, current and future leaders gain the capability to navigate uncertainty, bridge differences among stakeholders, and create solutions that address root causes rather than symptoms. In an era where the pace of change continues to accelerate and the complexity of challenges continues to grow, this systematic approach to problem solving becomes not just valuable, but essential for creating positive impact in the world.